The call came at 7:23 a.m. on a Tuesday, 3 weeks before what was supposed to be the happiest day of my life. I was in my small apartment, coffee in hand, reviewing quarterly reports for Phoenix Hospitality Group, my $2.8 billion empire no one in my family knew about. "Emma, we need to talk." Dad's tone was clipped, boardroom-serious. "Come to the house. Now." I already knew this wasn't good. That tone always meant a family decision, the kind where I was never consulted. 20 minutes later, I stood in the living room of my childhood home. Mom sat stiff on the leather couch, lips pressed tight. Dad loomed by the fireplace like he was addressing shareholders. Jessica, my younger sister, lounged in an armchair, smirking at her phone. "Sit down," Dad ordered. I stayed standing. "This about my wedding?" Mom's reply was ice. "We've made a decision." My pulse quickened. "What decision?" Dad turned, arms crossed. "We're not funding this circus anymore." The words hit like a slap. "Excuse me?" "You heard me. $75,000 on flowers, photos, and crystal centerpieces? Absurd. We agreed on the budget months ago," I said, keeping my voice even. Jessica finally looked up. "Yeah, well, we didn't realize how much money you'd waste on dumb things. Like the dress," Mom snapped. $4,000 for something you'll wear once. Completely irresponsible. I inhaled slowly. "Marcus and I?" "Marcus," Dad cut in with a sneer. "The nonprofit guy? That's your big future? He's a good man." "Good doesn't pay bills," Mom said. "Maybe this is a sign you should reconsider." "You want me to cancel my wedding?" I asked. Dad's jaw hardened. "We already did." I blinked. "What?" He pulled out a folder. "The venue's cancelled. Deposits are gone, but better that than wasting the full amount. The caterer too," Jessica chimed in. "And the photographer." "Oh, and the florist." I stared, stunned. "You cancelled my wedding without telling me?" Mom's voice was flat. "Our names were on the contracts. We had every right." My chest ached, but I kept my face calm. 8 months of planning. The dress I'd chosen. The menu Marcus and I had spent hours crafting. The flowers that reminded me of my grandmother. All erased with a phone call. "I can't believe you did this." "Believe it," Dad said. "And next time, think before you plan something beyond your means." The silence stretched. Their faces, Dad's cold pride, Mom's judgment, Jessica's contempt, burned into me. "Understood," I said softly. They'd expected me to cry or beg. I gave them nothing. "Good," Dad said, satisfied. "Find someone who won't embarrass the family," Mom added. I turned toward the door. "Don't be dramatic," Jessica called. "We're doing you a favor." Hand on the knob, I looked back once. "I'm not being dramatic. I'm being practical." Then I left. The drive home felt surreal. 23 years old. MBA from Northwestern. Secretly running a $2.8 billion empire. And my parents had just canceled my wedding because they thought I was broke. The irony was almost laughable. At 19, I bought my first property with the money I made selling apps I'd built in college. 4 years later, Phoenix Hospitality Group owned 17 luxury venues, including Grandmont Estate, the very venue my parents had just canceled. They had no idea the place belonged to me. They thought I was a broke grad with nothing but a 10-year-old Honda. And I'd let them think that. It was easier to let them believe I was figuring things out than explain the 18-hour days, the sleepless nights, and the empire I had built in silence. But this time, they had crossed a line. I pulled into my apartment complex and sat in the car, my chest heavy. My phone buzzed. A text from Marcus lit up the screen. "Hey babe, just confirmed final head count with the caterer. 127 guests. Can't wait to marry you in 3 weeks." My throat tightened. He was probably at his office, glowing with excitement, while my parents had just detonated our wedding behind my back. I couldn't tell him yet, not until I made a few calls of my own. First, I dialed my assistant. Pull the Grandmont contracts, I said. The Grandmont estate? Your wedding venue? Yes. And double-check cancellation clauses for deposits. A pause. Emma, is everything okay? Everything's fine. Just preparing for unusual circumstances. Next, I called my head of legal. David, hypothetically, if someone forged authorization to cancel a booking at one of our venues, what would our legal recourse be? That's fraud, civil damages, potential criminal charges. Why do you ask? Just making sure our bases are covered. Send me the statutes. Of course, but Emma, are we under attack? No, just housekeeping. When I hung up, I let myself sit in silence for exactly 60 seconds, long enough to feel the sting of betrayal, the humiliation, the casual cruelty of people who were supposed to love me. Then I got out of the car and went upstairs to plan my response. The next morning, as I skimmed property reports, an unknown number flashed across my phone. Hello? Emma, what the hell is going on? Dad's voice thundered through the line. Good morning to you too, I said, calm as glass. The venue just called. They refused to refund our deposits. Said the owner canceled them personally. They said you were behind it. What did you do? I sipped my coffee. Interesting. Don't play games with me. That's $7,500. They said the owner gave explicit orders that we weren't to receive a refund under any circumstances. Did you cause a scene? No, Dad. I didn't cause a scene. Then how do you know what the owner decided? Lucky guess. This isn't funny. Fix it. Call them back. I don't think I can do that. Why not? Because the owner's decision is final. There was a pause, long, uneasy. Emma, how do you know what the owner decided? I leaned back in my chair, eyes drifting to the Grandmont estate gleaming in the distance. My property, my creation. Because, Dad, I said evenly, I'm the owner. The silence on the line was deafening. Dad, you still there? His voice, when it returned, was unsteady. Emma, what's the name of the company that owns Grandmont? Phoenix Hospitality Group. Another pause. Emma, what's your last name? Still Martinez legally, but in business? Emma Phoenix. He went quiet, then shouted into the room behind him. Margaret, Margaret, come here, Emma's. Emma Phoenix. Mom's muffled voice, what are you talking about? The Emma Phoenix, the one who bought Riverside Mall, the one who owns half the city's venues, that's our Emma. A sharp gasp, a crash, probably Mom fainting. Dad's voice returned, trembling. Emma, sweetheart, this is a huge misunderstanding. Is it? Yes, we had no idea you were so successful. Why didn't you tell us? You never asked. But we thought you were struggling, like everyone else your age. Most people my age don't manage $2.8 billion in real estate. He scrambled, voice turning into the salesman he always was. We can fix this. We'll call the venue back. Reinstate everything, the whole wedding. With what money? What do you mean? Well, you said I couldn't afford it, that I needed someone who could. That Marcus wasn't enough. Emma, that was before we knew. Before you knew I could pay for it myself? Yes, exactly. I stood at the window, watching Grandmont's staff prepare for a corporate retreat, my corporate retreat. Tell me something, Dad. If I were still just regular Emma, living in my apartment, driving my old Honda, would you have apologized? Would you have admitted you were wrong? Or would you still be laughing with Jessica about how pathetic I was? The silence stretched. Emma. I cut him off. Don't bother. I already know the answer. You would have left me heartbroken and weddingless, and felt righteous about it. Like you taught me some lesson about living within my means. That's not true. We were trying to help. No, you were trying to control me, like you always have. I heard Mom's voice in the background. Give me the phone, Emma. Honey, it's Mom, sweetheart. This is just a terrible miscommunication. Has there? Yes. We had no idea about your success. We're so proud of you. Proud of the business, or proud of the money? Both, Emma. We've always been proud. Yesterday, you told me to find someone who could afford me. What changed? Well, now we know that. That I can afford myself? Silence. Let me save you some time. I'm not reinstating the wedding. I'm not giving you your deposits back. And I'm not pretending this never happened. Emma, you're being unreasonable. No, I'm being exactly as reasonable as you were yesterday. Then Jessica's voice piped up in the background. Wait, she's serious? She's actually not giving us the money back? Put Jessica on, I said. Emma, I don't think. Put her on. Fine, here's Jessica. Hey, Emma. Her voice was careful. So, this is weird. Hi, Jess. I had no idea you were, like, rich. I'm comfortable. Comfortable? You own half the city. Not half, maybe 30%. This is insane. Why didn't you ever say anything? Would it have mattered? What do you mean? Yesterday, you filmed my fiancé throwing my keys in a lake and posted it online. You mocked my wedding plans, called me wasteful. Would you have done that if you knew I was wealthy? Well, no, probably not. So you're only kind to people who have money? That's not what I meant. It's exactly what you meant. You treated me like trash because you thought I was broke. Now you want to play best sister because you found out I'm rich. Emma, come on. How many posts did you make mocking my cheap lifestyle? My car? My apartment? My job? That was just sister stuff. Put Dad back on. Emma, wait. Now. Dad's voice returned, subdued. Emma, we should talk face to face. No, we shouldn't. Yes, we should. This is family business. Family doesn't cancel weddings out of spite. It wasn't spite, we thought. You thought wrong. About everything. He exhaled hard. Emma, what do you want? What will it take to fix this? There's nothing to fix. You made your choice. I'm just respecting it. Our choice was based on incomplete information. No, it was based on your assumption that I was worthless. Now that you know I'm not, suddenly you want to change the rules. That's not fair. You know what's not fair? Having your parents cancel your wedding because they think you're not good enough. Emma, please. I have to go. I have a board meeting. Wait, what about Marcus? What about the wedding? I smiled. What about it? Are you still getting married? Of course. Where? Same place, same date, same time. But we cancelled everything. You cancelled your booking. You never had authority over mine. Silence. There are 2 contracts for the grand estate on September 15th, I explained. The one you signed as the paying party, and the one I signed as the property owner. You cancelled yours. Mine is still active. You mean? I mean the wedding is happening exactly as planned. The only difference is you're not invited. Neither is Mom. Neither is Jessica. You can't uninvite your family. Watch me. I hung up. The phone rang again immediately. I turned it off. Like and subscribe for part 2.